Hello everyone, RegiTime here again with the second part of my review of a session I played last week on Sky. It's now been about 5 days since I played the session, 4 or 5 days, so hopefully all the action will be even further removed from my mind, so I'm looking at it with a completely fresh perspective, which is kind of the point of this kind of review. It's something I do on Sky now and again. I just record a session once a week maybe and just take a look back through it, make sure I'm not doing anything really stupid or making any silly leaks, because we don't have the database to look back on. Just two little bits of housekeeping before we actually get stuck into the video. The first one, thank you very much for all the likes that I've been getting in the videos, and the comments. Really do keep them coming. The more likes I get, the better, the happier it makes me. So if you can find your way down to the thumbs up button and click it, that's great. And any comments, as you can see on previous videos, I do respond to most comments, especially the questions. If they're not questions, if they're just a comment, sometimes I can't think of much to say to it. But questions, I nearly always, very rare I don't answer a question. So yeah, if you can fire lots of comments in, lots of shares, lots of likes, that would be fantastic. If you don't be bothered and you just want to watch the video, then great, just do that too. One final thing, since the beginning of July, or since just after the beginning of July, PokerStars have kind of really screwed a lot of the regulars over with this new chess thing. I'm not going to pretend I know a ton about Rakeback, but I get asked questions about it all the time. I've been contacted, well, I've not been contacted, but I've been in contact with a gentleman called Ian Salter for a while now. He is a Rake One's coach, he's a mid-stakes player, he's a reputable person in the business. He's come to me to offer anyone that's subscribed to my channel or is a member of my Facebook group, just to give the opportunity to come and talk to him via my Facebook group about perhaps getting a above average deal on some of the other sites that he's got deals for: Party Poker, Unibet, spring to mind particularly, Red Kings as well on microgaming. He can get good, better than average deals on pretty much every site there is out there. So if you are thinking of moving away from PokerStars and you have a dormant account on a big network, or you haven't had an account on a big network before, on another network before, do consider joining my Facebook group and contacting Ian to try and see if he can get you a better than average deal. There'll be a link somewhere on the video right now to show you exactly how to do that. There'll be a link to the Facebook group. Please sign up to the group and then contact Ian Salter. And then from there, hopefully he can get you hooked up with a decent Rakeback deal. So there you go. Without any further ado, I promise there's not going to be 2 minutes of preamble to every video I make. But yeah, I think, yeah, for me the likes are important, and for you guys getting good Rakebacks important. So I think it was worth taking the time to just mention those few things. So we're going to make another video of about half an hour long. However much of this video we get through in that half an hour is what we're going to get through. Last time we got through 20 odd minutes. Who knows how long we'll get through this time. So again, we're playing 6 tables on Sky, some 10-0 and some 20-0 mixed. And we're just going to, anytime we get into a situation, pre-flop or post-flop that's interesting, we're going to pause the video and we're going to talk about it. I think with the ace-jack, it's a pretty standard check multi-way. And then we just fold to the lead when he leads for close to pot. Some of you guys might have considered floating there, but I'm not a big fan of just floating ace-jack high versus large bets with the street to come still. I think we're just kind of setting money on fire. But if we can, this is going to build up to a spot either in this video or the next video with this wild rose. You just in the last 2 pots, he's kind of just taken pots away from me with my marginal hands with pot size bets. That might become relevant in this video or the next video. I'm not sure, but we play a big pot with wild rose at some point in the future, and just bear in mind that he has been making these large bets with a reasonable frequency. The 2 8s on table 5 here, and given that we've only got 140 blinds left to play, I'd be happy to see myself jam here, or it looks like I'm going to go for the 3/4 pot. I think either's fine. Just betting and not folding is kind of the line here, isn't it? If he turns up with a 10, then never mind. This wouldn't necessarily be a bet. If we were deeper, by the way, this would definitely be a check call. If Paulie Pupo, if we were like 100 blinds deep, I would be in check call mode with this hand a lot of the time, particularly against unknowns. We're only betting here because we're kind of committed anyway. We have an SPR of, I think the pot was 69, wasn't it? I think so we got like 17 to 140. We got an SPR of 2 with pocket 8s. We're just going to be committed. But it'd be a much higher SPR with an SPR of like 14 or more. We'd certainly be looking to place this in like a category 2 type style of hand, where we'd be looking to check call. But we do bet, which I think is perfect in this situation. And we just take it down. We flop a set up on table 3. I'd like to see myself just bet quite big on this board. Against King, it was a strange dynamic with King because he used to be quite aggressive. It doesn't seem to be as aggressive these days. Not really sure if he's adjusted to me or, well, I think he has adjusted to me. Because my strategy used to be check to King a lot and just let him like blow his money off. He seems to have adjusted to that, so I'm not going to talk too much about which adjustments I'm going to make again, because I think he watches the videos, because he quite often, you'll see later, he quite often trolls me about the video, about making videos and things, so I think he's watching them, and I'm not going to be giving my strategy away against him, but I think I'd like to see myself bet really quite big on this board texture with my bottom set. And we go for a 5 big blind bet. I think we can go even bigger than that, but never mind, he check folds anyway. Again, it's Wild Rose on table 3. We're just going to be trying to keep the pot small, get to showdown. If he bets this river, I'd hope I call. There's no reason not to call here. Yeah, of course he can have something. He can have anything, really. It means there's a light blue tag player, can just be value betting a 5 here, could be value betting a 7, could have a straight. He might just have nothing. He might just have like Queen 9 offsuit or something like that. I think we've managed to keep the pot small. I don't know what to do, but I'd like to see myself call here. We do, and we lose to the rivered straight. Ace Jack on table 5. I hope I'm going to pump it up. 6 is the smallest, let's see, out 70. I like that much better versus that many limpers. And then we completely whiff the flop. And it's kind of awkward here because we might just have the best hand still, but it's like, what do we do here? We bet. Obviously, we don't care about Paulie Pupo, whatever the heck he's called. And we could just try and bet here to collect dead money, because we've created quite a lot of dead money. If he's just in there with, I don't know, say 8, 9, and this guy's got who cares what. We could just bet to try and collect dead money here, and there definitely will be dead money on these board textures. People with 10, 9, 8, 9, 8, 6, worse aces, King 4, who knows what. I mean, Sky, that's a green tag players, King 8 offsuit. I saw someone play a big pot last night with King 8 offsuit. There's a whole host of junk in people's ranges, so it's kind of, do we want to bet to collect dead money? But if we do bet, we get raised, we have to fold. If we get called, what turns are we going to proceed on? Kind of a jack and an ace only, and it wouldn't be that happy to see a jack. So I think we could bet smallish, just to, like, if someone is just on a fit or fold line, we could maybe just bet 70 pence and just get play to fold his equity share possibly. But I don't mind checking either. He bets 20 pence, we clearly have to call. No sense raising, really. We guess we could raise just to try and... thinking back now with that bet size, he just bet 20 pence to put Paulie Pupo all in. And I don't remember this hand at all. That could just be his way of like saying, right, I'm committed again. Even though it's ridiculous, it could be his way of saying, I'm committed against Paulie Pupo, but I'm folding to a raise if I raise. So I'll be interested to see what he turns up with here now, because now I've seen that sizing, I think we could make a case for raising there, because he might just be like just randomly stabbing to put this guy all in. So actually versus 20 pence, even though obviously calling can't be wrong because we're getting such ridiculous pot odds, I wouldn't actually mind myself, see myself raised to like 150. Just raise fold to 150. That might have been a reasonable play too. Interesting what he turns up with. And while we're getting such ridiculously good pots to just call down, I don't have a huge issue with it. Right, he wasn't folding the Queen 10, so my raise plan would have been pretty rubbish because he would have called and I would have been sad. Isolating on table 3 against Wild Rose with a 9-7 suited and completely bricking again. And getting potted into again. He likes those pot-sized bets. See, that's like the 4th time on this video he's done it now. The one time we looked him up, he was nutted. But how often do people make the nuts? And that's kind of, again, just bear it in mind for maybe this video, maybe the next video, the dynamic that would, well, not the dynamic, but the reads were building up on Wild Rose. Wild Rose, because even this video alone, how long have we been doing it for? 11 minutes. It's like 6 minutes of playtime. The guy's already potted it 4 times versus us post-flop. And what did I just do there with that ace-9? That seemed shit on the river. If I just called that 10 pence, that's horrendous. That's really bad autopilot. In fact, let's see how the entire hand's played out. Right, so it's been a limped pot. I've led. Paulie Poo-Poo's called. We got called in 2 spots. I check the turn. I don't like that. I think I should continue betting. This is really bad autopilot from me. That should be a raise there against Paulie Popo. Yeah, I've really slaughtered this hand. I've not played this hand well. If I just call this river, which I think I do, I've slaughtered this hand. This should just be raised and be done with it. This should just be right, Paulie Popo, you've got whatever you've got. If you've got a 3, I'm just going to pay you off. I get it's a limped pot, so you can have 3x. But this is way too weak tight of me, and it's not something I would ever do if I wasn't 6 tabling. I would have raised the turn almost certainly against this player's stack size. And if he's got a 3, fuck my life, he's got a 3. I'm just going to deal with it. This is really bad from me, and again, it's probably why I shouldn't be 6 tabling. But for the purpose of videos, it's good to 6 table. It's good to point out these leaks that I'm finding in my own game in 6 tabling, because hopefully it'll demonstrate to you guys or leaks you could find in your own game if you did this exercise too. Or if you weren't confident in spotting your own leaks, perhaps record some sessions and I'll review it with you. And you know, it might be the best $25 you ever spend if you get some of your really subtle weak tight leaks found, or bad aggressive leaks, whatever your leaks are. If you are playing lots of tables and you're struggling to spot leaks, then this is a good way to do it, and I'm more than happy to help you try and do that. This is piss poor by me. This should be a raise on the river. Really poor. Not above calling myself out. If I call plenty of other players out when they make bad plays, I should absolutely 100% be calling myself out. So we flop trips against spin 5. Now this is it. We had a read that spin was just like auto betting versus checks, didn't we? Which is why I've checked this hand. You can see I lined up a bet, then I corrected myself and thought, no, this guy stabs a lot, so we'll check to him. With a ban on check raising to get value from an ace. Once he doesn't stab, I should just go ahead and bet twice. And he just folds. So maybe he only stabs when he's got pieces of it. These are all the things we'd try to build reads as we go along. Because spin 5, yeah, he was green tagged at the start of the session, but I didn't have notes on him. Didn't know a great deal about him. This is how I go about my sessions. You know, I'm like, right, I think this guy's stabbing a lot, so therefore I'm going to adjust to him. Oh, he didn't stab, therefore maybe it means he's just stabbing with different parts of his range than I expected. All these things, you've got to be going through these thought processes constantly. Just to figure out what's going on in your games. So we have the nuts, well, not the nuts, but a straight with a flush draw on table 4. We should certainly be looking to jam some money in the pot here. I think we can go bigger than that, Reggie. We can go bigger than the quid. Oh, don't check, Reggie. What are you doing with the checks, sir? I think I'm just getting way too trappy in these spots. Yeah, this is really shit story. Ignore me. I thought I had a straight. Rewind back. Call myself a dickhead. We just had a pair in a flush draw. My mistake. Many apologies. Not even reading the hand right on the fucking replayer. Come on, Reg. Get your act together. And we chopped the pot with the other 6-7. Sorry there, guys. I thought we had the straight on the turn. It's too fast for me, even in replay mode, when we can just slow it the fuck down. And there we go again. This time with Wild Rose making like a gross overbet. As you can see, his betting was all over the spot. He was like wanting to put way too much money in the pot way too often. I hope we get to it this video because I have made quite a big deal of it. Whether we do or not, who knows. But yeah, as you can see now, he's like potted 4 times. He's now overbet massively once. And he's playing that fucking ton of pots. He's God knows what his VPIP must be, but it must be way over 80. He played a VPIP of way over 80 and he's mashing that pot button a lot. Is this the hand? It might be the hand. Who knows? It was certainly an ace king. Nope. Not this time. And again, another big bet from him. It's like the 5th or the 6th time. I'm actually starting to lose count now of how many times he's just like led into us or potted it into us, and we've just kind of laid down to him every time. Just basically because we've never had really enough to justify calling those bet sizes. Queen's here on table 4. We should just be betting pretty big, even though it's a dry board. It's a multi-way pot, so when we do bet, it's usually a signal of strength. So if I'm going to rep a strong range, there's not really that much point in by going for a small bet size. Called by Kinger. And that's a fine size. And then he get a really bad river. And this is a problem here when we're playing against like relatively aggressive players. Someone like Kinger here is, or at least I thought he was, I'm not convinced now, but I thought he was capable of maybe having a hand like pocket 8 here or 10x and turning it into a bluff on the river by just like bashing. Because when I check here, I'm capping my range. I'm saying I do not have a flush, I do not have a straight. So when I check this river, he's just got license to just like overbet versus me, pot versus me, because it's just so rare I'm going to have a flush. Like, the only flushes I can really have is like ace-high flush, like ace-queen clubs, king-queen clubs, them types of things, you know, it's like backed into it somehow. And usually I'm just going to have the overpair. So I'm just, when I check this river, I'm just asking to be bluffed. But if I bet it and I get raised, it really stinks because what's he raising me with? And I just don't think many worse hands are going to call. I mean, what's his range with calling and getting to the river this way? Pocket 8s, pocket 7s, 10x. So if I just bet like £6 here with those hands, or £4, something like that, anything, it's kind of middling sort of bet size, and somewhere between £4 and £6. How often is he really going to call? Maybe he's going to call with a 10, ace 10, king 10, that type of thing. But then jack 10 beats me. Versus how many times he's going to fall pocket 8s and things. It's kind of a weird spot against, I mean, against like a loose passive player, a weak type player, it's a really easy check fold. But against someone who's capable of like maybe making some moves, it's a much tougher spot. And I just hated the river, and I thought we could just lose this pot now because he's just going to like blow me off my hand, but what can I do about it? Fortunately, he checked back, and I think he turned up with like a middling pair of some description, I'm not sure. 10-8, yeah, so he had like top pair. It's really difficult when you cap your range out of, against reasonably aggressive players, because it can just put you in a world of pain. Fortunately there, he probably felt he had enough showdown value. Maybe he just thought I was barreling ace high or something, and his 10 was good, which would be not that reasonable against me in particular, because the only like ace highs I'm barreling on that turn are going to be flush draws, which I've just got there. So he probably doesn't have that much showdown value versus me, but I think his line's more than reasonable. Middle pair up on table 2, presuming it's going to be a pretty standard check call. Maybe I could think about leading that turn. Once it checks through, I think I'm actually too quickly again here, because my first instinct now is just to lead the turn. 4 tabling, I would have undoubtedly have led the turn. 2 tabling, 3 tabling, undoubtedly led the turn. So there's definitely some leaks in my game through playing 6 tables. Now, whether those leaks are compensated for by just improving my hourly, by being able to play more hands against fish, who knows? And they're not exactly the most difficult leaks in the world to fix. Just make sure I'm focused before the session on definitely not autopiloting. I can just maybe set a reminder to go off my phone every 15 minutes to remind me, don't autopilot, don't autopilot, don't autopilot. Because these aren't things that I don't know. I know to bet this turn a lot with a reasonable frequency. Lots of draws can call, flush draws that have been picked up. Maybe, some worse jacks. Maybe some pocket 6s now think they're good. Maybe A7s now is going to just call a bet. Those types of things. So it's not like I don't know to bet this. I haven't done it because probably the speed of the session. So I need to make a decision at some point going forward, because I 6 tabled again last night, and it was kind of a break-even session, and I'm not entirely convinced I played my best, not by a long way. So I need to, the equation in my head needs to be, am I making more money by 6 tabling and making more mistakes due to 6 tabling, or am I making more money by 3 or 4 tabling and making less mistakes? And that's the question. But if there's 6 or 7 good tables to be sat at, I think I owe it to myself to try and sit at 6 or 7 good tables and just work on my multi-tabling skills. I think that's how we need to go. You can't always get that on Sky. Sometimes you can play. I guess it's like, where's the regs at? If there's a night where there's Don't Tell Mum, there's Poker King, there's Wubble, there's Hawk, whatever it's called, Hawkeye or something. When there's all the regs are out, it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. You just have a night off, do something else. But all the regs that don't always seem to be out anymore. It could well be at the moment they're all out, or some of them are out in Vegas, because it's right where Sky start taking a bunch of players to Vegas. So this might be the best week and a half of the year to play. If they're all out in Vegas on holiday, then I've kind of got the whole microstakes lobby to myself, with the exception of Kinga, it seems, and a couple of other lower raking regulars. But I think when I can get on 6 good tables, I probably need to just play 6 good tables. And when the tables aren't so good, have a night off, or just play the best tables. And if it's just 2 or 3, that's all I'm playing. It's just 2 or 3. I have no interest in battling regs and having it into pissing contests with regulars. That's for sure. So for the millionth time, Wild Rose just pots it versus a Miss Seabet, and again, we're just going to fold to him. And by now, I was starting to get mildly frustrated with the situation, because that is what the 6th or 7th time in 15 minutes of actual play, and probably he's done it to us before then, So in this session so far, of a 37-minute session, it's maybe 10 times he's done that. That is an absurd frequency. We just haven't had a hand yet where we can actually defend versus it. There's my buddy Will just 3-betting me when I got the A6. Super nitty fold by me. Not that ass though. Make a lot of nitty folds me. I have no problem doing it on a regular basis. I just don't think people are bluffing enough to start being some super mega bluff catcher in microstakes poker. Don't think bluffing's a big part of most player strategy. Now, the best player strategies, I might end up overfolding to people like King, to Will if he's starting to adjust to me a little bit, and a few other people. So I might overfold to some regulars. But as an overall strategy, overfolding in the microstakes versus aggression can't be a bad thing. It just can't be. Well, of course it's a bad thing by definition, but I don't think it's the worst thing, shall we say. And if you're overdoing something, then it's a bad thing. But as a general strategy, if you want to be doing it to just stay in spots where you think, well, the guy's probably not that weak, and we're playing a lot of tables, and I don't want to burn a lot of mental energy on this, then I think maybe making some tight folds is certainly a lot better than making some loose calls constantly. That's for sure. If you had to do one or the other, making the tight fold is going to be a much better switch. It's going to be a much better option. Again, I'm not teaching you guys to play perfectly here. That's not what I'm here for. At my prices, you don't get taught to play perfectly. My prices, you get your leaks found, you get good fundamentals, and you get prepared to go and work with a coach that can certainly tweak you a lot better than I can. This might be the hand with Wild Rose. It's certainly an ace kinger, and it'd be a nice time to end the video if it is. End on a low, so to speak. Yeah, this is definitely the hand. So finally we flopped top pair, top kicker against Wild Rose, and we're happy. And I think this is my first mistake, given that I think he had pots versus weakness, just betting into him. But he hasn't been raising. He's just been like doing his own thing when he's been either first to act or when he's been checked to. So this is the first mistake. As I adjusted to spin earlier, just started to check to him when I'm strong. I think we could check here to Wild Rose and look to get a check raise in and try and build a big pot quickly against like his worst ace-x hands. But also we need to bear in mind we are pretty damn deep at this point. We're like 250 blinds deep. So I think betting can't be bad either. But I think in hindsight, given how it's been going, I would have quite liked to check raise. Or maybe even just check call. If he's going to keep pressing pot, if I keep checking, even check call could be very reasonable. But we don't. We lead into him. Like pot raises. 100 blinds deep. I'm not messing around here. I'm just going to check call flop. Bet call flop and then just check shove turn. But we're not that. We can't just do that because we are a lot deeper. We have to bear that in mind. It changes things dramatically. So we check. And he doesn't pot it. He just makes a large bet. It's like 7 into 8 or whatever it was. But he doesn't pot it. But clearly we can't fold. And then the river bricks off. We check again. And he like snap whatever that is. 17 into how much is it? Oops. Gone too far back. He's bet like 17 into 22. And I hate fucking paying off. I despise paying off more than anything else in the world. But given how this guy's been playing, I don't think we can just like under-rep our hand as we have and then just check fold this river. Yeah, it's a fucking massive bet. It's almost 100 blinds. That's how we call and lose this pot. We've put like best part of 150 blinds in the pot, possibly more. I'm not sure. What did we start with? 47. If we lose here, we're going to 19. So yes, we're going to put like 140 odd blinds in the pot, something like that. 130, 140 odd blinds. With just one pair, which I almost never do, you know. I don't often put that much in with one pair. But given how the dynamic's been this session, what would you be doing against Wild Rose here? As it happens, you're going to see the result. He's going to turn up with the nuts. He's going to turn up with, he just flopped the joint with the King 10. And we lose a massive pot. But I'm not sure, given how he's been playing, not sure we can fold it. It felt really fucking dirty. It really did feel dirty. As you see, I'm not exactly snapping it, but we just have to. And sadly for us, he flopped the absolute joint and I just joined dead. But as I said in previous videos, if I'm going to lose big pots, I'd much rather lose it to people like Wild Rose than lose it to a regular. So, yeah, let me know what you will. We'll see these quads through, see what happens. And again, just betting into him. I'm not sure I should bet this turn. We're just not giving him a chance to bluff, but whatever. He just calls for his streets. Good for us. We get it. We get a little bit of redemption there with our £4 fucking with our £4 profit. So there you go. Yeah, let me know, especially what you think of that video, but also what you think about this format in general. I'm quite enjoying doing it. I'm quite enjoying analysing myself. And I certainly intend to when I've got through this video. There's still quite a long way to go in this video. I've still got like an hour and 10 minutes to review. So we're going to get at least another 2, possibly 3 videos out of this particular session. But let me know what you think. I think I'm probably going to continue with it anyway, but if there's anything you could think of improved, would more tables improve it? I don't think so. Less tables certainly might. Yeah, so please don't forget to like, share, comment, and don't forget that rate back. If you're about to leave PokerStars, or if you are leaving PokerStars, or you've left, but you don't have accounts on Unibet, MPN, or you have a dormant account on Party Poker, and you're thinking about trying to get yourself a good deal, just something that reflects the kind of deal you're on with PokerStars before they fucked you over, then do get in touch with Ian via the link at the start of the video. Okay, guys, we'll leave it there for now. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again probably another couple of days with the next installment of this video. Bye-bye for now.